I am Rodolfo González Llanos. I am the Chief Operating Officer for Optimus. I've been in this role for the last 3 years. And today we're going to be talking about Microsoft Copilot licensing, kind of the basic of licensing. But first we're going to be focusing a little on what Microsoft 365 is, what Copilot is in very high level. So we put a level ground on those of you who do not know the details, because that's going to help us explain the licensing later on. So first we're going to go through this video which our marketing team generated, gathering analyst data from different sources. And here we can see how the population of reaching by these different technologies, how they have, they're bigger than the biggest country that we have with billions of dollars. Then we just saw how fast the technology adoption is happening. From 75 years for the phone, a few months or a couple of years for Facebook, and eventually TikTok a few months, and now with ChatGPT, which is the core of the Copilot technology, how it only took 2 months for getting to 100 million users. So that is amazing, how new technology can be widespread so fast. This means that this artificial intelligence through Copilot will keep growing, because Microsoft invested billions of dollars on it, and also with a relationship with ChatGPT, but also they had been investing billions of dollars. And at the same time, this will keep going. So what you see today in Copilot is going to be increasing tenfold. And the adoption, before companies had more time to adapt. Now, because it's going to revolutionize all the industry, the rate of adoption needs to be very quick, because the increase in performance is going to be tremendous. But at the same time, why did it get into 100 million in 2 months? Because it is easy to adopt. And to adopt and to adapt. And we have done that at Optimus. And we started about almost 2 years ago working with ChatGPT. We were on the early adopter program. And so very few partners around the world had access to that early adopter. And we did that experience us internally, not only to looking on how we could help our customers in adopting this technology, but we adopted it ourselves. We at Optimus we focus on eating our own dog food. So this is why we have increased our efficiency so dramatically. But technology is all over the place, and this is what it enables. There you see our CEO in the Miami airport with an automatic wheelchair that stops in front of people. And I had a personal experience before technology. 10 years ago, I had a very bad accident. I was 3 months in bed by falling from my bicycle. I destroyed my knee, and I was in crutches for 3 months, but had to, for a personal reason, had to fly from Miami to Argentina. And when coming back, I needed a wheelchair to take me to the plane, and the national team had one, and they were at the airport, so I had to wait 1 hour, and then nobody came. I had to use crutches. Why do I say this now? If I would have seen or would have had something like that, you could have many of these wheelchairs that are automatic, instead of having a big team of people just waiting to see if anybody needs a wheelchair, because sometimes when there's a lot of people together, you cannot have so many employees just waiting for just a peak time. So this is just a little example that caught my attention on how technology has had an impact, or is having an impact every single day that passes. Okay, so let me go to the next. Now, I mentioned Optimus. Optimus, we have, I personally did work for Microsoft for almost 20 years. I was in charge of business solutions, especially the ERP side of it, for all Caribbean and Latin America, those 20 years. And then 3 years ago, I moved to Optimus as Chief Operating Officer. So, and our CEO or VP came also from Microsoft. I have personally 30 years of experience in business solutions, as well as our CEO, and the average experience that we have in our staff is at least 10 years. So with that, we are able to help our customers in solutions, how they can improve their efficiency. And not only like at Microsoft Dynamics, but also Microsoft applications, because we consider that it's everything revolves around giving the right solution, be a trusted advisor to our customers. And that's why it was so easy for us to transition into Copilot, because of this expertise we have in business, because you have to understand business in order to see how we can take the most out of Copilot. So, sorry, I missed it. We have created several of Copilot workshops. Actually, we have 10. The next one is going to be actually in 3 days, in which we're going to be focusing on marketing sales using Copilot. And that's based on Microsoft Dynamics 365 CRM and the artificial intelligence of Copilot that Microsoft has embedded within that solution that does tremendous things for marketing and sales. And so we invite you to go there, to register. At the end, we're going to be going again on this and with a little more detail. So this is the agenda for today. We have the introduction that we already covered. Then we're going to be doing a leveling of what Microsoft Modern Workplace is, what Office 365 Teams, and so on. So when we go to licensing, you're going to be understanding a lot more of Copilot over these platforms. What does it mean? Then we're going to be going very, very high level on Microsoft Copilot Studio and the different offerings around Copilot. That we already had some webinars. I led one a few days ago that we covered this, but we covered it at length, and we went a little more technical on it. And this is going to be just high level, just to level the playing field. Then we're going to go to licensing and finish with Q&A. This session, even though it's scheduled for about an hour, I think it's going to be probably half an hour, a little more than half an hour to complete. And here we have this commercial. This commercial was presented at the Super Bowl. In the last Super Bowl in the US, just 30 seconds cost millions of dollars. And Microsoft very rarely promotes these type of commercials, because normally they focus on businesses, but this is widespread around the world. But why did they do it? Because Pilot impacts everybody, and that's why, and enhances the creativity of every people. And so this also shows the commitment, the investment that Copilot Microsoft is doing on Copilot, and it has dramatically increased actually the stock of Microsoft by being the leader in artificial intelligence. The rest, including Google and Apple, are just at this moment catching up. And so the Microsoft, kind of like the good old days, they're leading in technology and offer new offerings for businesses and people. In the first video, these comments were laid out. But it's important that we focus just a few seconds in this. And the first quote is that there's a lot of hype that AI will replace humans, at least not for a long, long, long time. And I don't know if it will ever be. I don't think it will ever be, especially when you talk about creativity. But it will replace AI, replace the humans with other humans that will use artificial intelligence. So again, it would be like today trying to do your work without Excel or an equivalent without Word, and just trying to do with a piece of paper. So this is so you can use a parallel of what will mean moving forward without AI. The second one is Copilot is not autopilot. So it helps you improve your efficiency dramatically, but you are still the pilot. You have to review the information that you get, do a little quality control. And I mean, when I do something with Copilot, that specific task gets reduced tremendously, but I still need to make sure that it does make sense because it gathers information from different sources, but I still have to give it a little of my personal touch and make sure that everything is fine. But it does increase dramatically my performance on the day. And finally, as I mentioned before, this is going to be completely transformational. Like I mentioned just now with Excel or Word, it's like the printing press, the Industrial Revolution. And the Industrial Revolution, there was a lot of fear during the Industrial Revolution that it will replace all the people from the farms and that they were working on the fields. And actually it did, but it creates so much work that was dramatically how the world improved in wealth, okay, with injustices and all that. So like with AI, we need to make sure that we use it for the benefit of everybody, the benefit of humanity, because like everything, it can be done for good, and that's what we have to do and try to limit any type of excesses. So what is a modern workplace? You have heard probably Office. Everybody has heard about Office, then Microsoft 365, and then modern workplace. And so what is the difference between one and the other? So Office traditionally was Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. But eventually, that bundle of Office, they start adding additional products like Outlook, Teams, and OneDrive. And they added security, especially with Defender, and for corporations, very, very strong security offerings. And they bundled all that, and they called it Microsoft 365. Now, in addition to that, which is not a bundle, but a concept, is the Microsoft Modern Workplace, which includes obviously Microsoft 365, but other offerings like SharePoint, Excel, Clipchamp, Loop, I already mentioned Defender, and others. And those others are, for example, Microsoft Viva, kind of a Facebook and Instagram for the corporation, so it has all the security, and so you can network and befriend and post Instagram type videos just within your corporation, and that obviously has more efficiency just to look within the organization, but also security-wise improves a lot. Then you have the Microsoft Power Platform, which has automates processes, workflows. You can build apps with the concept of low code, no code, that now people without development skills, programming skills, can create simple automations and workflows within the organization and increase the performance of what they want without having to go into a queue of developers, and then you can get whatever you want, which is rather simple, but they promise it maybe 6 months down the road. And maybe you can do it with a little training and without having development skills. As I mentioned, you can do it very quickly. And also part of this Power Platform is Power BI. As a matter of fact, there's now coming up a Copilot for Power BI. And Power BI is the business intelligence tool that leads the market. According to Gartner, it's the number one. It's the most widespread, the most powerful one. And it's also part of this Power Platform. And then Microsoft Surface with their laptop solutions. As a matter of fact, even the windows that you normally see on the keyboards, now it's going to be the logo. It's going to be a Copilot logo instead of the Windows logo because of their bet of Microsoft into the solution, and they're going to embed it within their Surface product, also Copilot. So Copilot's all throughout. So now summarizing, we had Office. Now we have as I mentioned, Microsoft 365 covering these products basically. Okay, the top row plus Defender, and then my Modern Workplace. So with that, I'm going to be handing over to Hector Rafael. Hector Rafael is one of our youngest consultants focused on new technology and presentation and studying. And this is one thing that we focus on different demographics because kind of me, like a baby boy, focus more on strategy, on guidance and adopting and accepting and implementing new technology. But also you need the younger generation with all their energy and all they want to learn everything that's new and brings all this push to change. So I push Hector Rafael and he pushes me also with new ideas on how to implement. So with that, I'm going to leave Hector Rafael to continue the presentation.
Yes, so thank you very much, Rodolfo. Thank you for the introduction and for all your words. I'm now going to be here talking more specific into Copilot and its licensing scheme and how it's working right now. So has it changed since the beginning in February? A little bit, but not really too much. And from a little bit, I mean mainly just functionalities have been evolving. Every month, Microsoft is working on the Copilot tool, improving it in every shape, way, and form. Even now, more that we are waiting for an even updated, even better Copilot because of OpenAI's new language model released, which is ChatGPT 4.0, and we're now waiting on Microsoft to implement that model into its Copilot, and basically that'll mean we're gonna get an even much faster Copilot and more intelligent one, more comprehensive one, and so AI and Copilot are here to stay. We've seen Microsoft implement this in all of their fleet of apps, of work apps and professional apps like Teams, Outlook, Word, OneNote, Excel, and the PowerPoint. Those are their top-notch applications. And another thing, very important part is here to stay, why and how. A little bit of, not a little bit, a lot of what I'm gonna say now. It's gonna give you a lot of confidence into the product, and not just say like, oh, but what if Copilot is something that I may invest into or get put and invest some time into it. It's not gonna go anywhere. It's just gonna keep growing. Right now, Microsoft has an estimated total value of what they've invested into OpenAI to develop this tool specifically with them in partnership, and they've it's right now an estimated $13 billion, which of course is rolling out slowly, and And so there is a lot of future into it, even more now that they just released the whole updated line of Surface laptops and devices from Microsoft, and now they've rebranded, or they've made a new line of computers specifically called Copilot Plus enabled devices, and these are all specific products that are designed with a processor specifically to work even better with Copilot and faster. So we're gonna be soon enough, we're all gonna be having computers that are Copilot Plus enabled, made to work in conjunction with Copilot and even faster and every day. So if we can go to the next page, please. Slide it. So talking about the availability and how much it a little bit on the cost of this Copilot license. Right now it's generally available since February of this year. It used to just be available at the beginning on November of last year. It started out but just for enterprises with 300 plus employees. um, and that's what Microsoft like had put at the minimum at that time, because of testing and initializing. Now we can all get it. No matter if it's just one or two licenses, we are all able to buy it. Um, it's 30 per month. It's gonna cover all customers that are using Microsoft Business Standard, Business Premium, Office E3, Office E5, Microsoft 365 E3, and E5s. And so it's gonna be available either if you're if it even either if it's a personal or family account, that's gonna be direct, or via a CSP cloud service provider like us. Can you please go to the next page? Okay, so now here we have three different tiers of Copilot, we could say. First one being the obvious one, the free one. This one includes like the very typical, the normal functionalities that we all know, which is the chat model of Copilot, which is of course behind it. It's a it's a ChatGPT, but with a couple of enhancements, mainly in security. So right here with a normal Copilot, we're gonna get just the same level of access as everyone. If we jump into Copilot Pro, that'll be just for individuals, meaning people with a personal or family account, which are accounts that, of course, you make yourself, which are Gmail accounts or along that lines. And with that, you're gonna get a priority access model, meaning that you're gonna get a little bit faster responding Copilot, in terms of what if the servers get all clogged up with a lot of people sending in commands. You're gonna get more priority on that, on the speed of that. And also you're gonna get Copilot available in Outlook, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and no OneNote. So after that, we jump into what's Copilot for Microsoft 365, meaning that's the Copilot license we all need in order to get Copilot if we have a work organization account, which is a work or school account. So in this case, me, of course, with my Optimus Microsoft account, the license I need is the Copilot for Microsoft 365, the one that's 30 a month. So, and this one will bring all the access that the Copilot Pro brings. Just that with this one, we get a little bit more data protection, a little bit more security, and also we get Copilot in Teams, which includes a bunch of features that are extremely useful and to use on a daily basis. So if you go to the next page, please. Here we're going to be talking about a little bit more into finalizing what's the details on the licensing. So the base license, the normal Microsoft 365 E3 and E5 with Office E3 and E5, they all can you can buy Copilot as an add-on. This is an add-on, not a normal license. So you beforehand you need to have either a Microsoft 365 E3, E5, or Office 365 E3, E5, or Business Standard or Business Premium licenses in order to be able to buy and add the Copilot license to your account. So the billing, how is it? The pricing, it's $30 a month. But the plan that there is, it's an annual plan. So meaning the total would be 360 for the whole year. It's you need to prepay it, but you get that, and those 360s, those are we have some metrics that we've already calculated. Um, Basically, you can get that return on investment quickly, way before the year ends. You're gonna be able to get your money out of that with all the functionalities, all the time that you save on a daily basis, and even more on a weekly basis. It's a very great tool to get an extremely good ROI. So maximum purchase, you can only buy as much as 300 licenses. Apart from that, 301, and on top, that'll be to the next tier with Microsoft, meaning it's like enterprise level. And so we can go now to the next page. And apart from the licenses that we've talked right now, we also got one more, including Copilot in it. It's called Microsoft Copilot for Sales. This one enables Copilot to help you within your Dynamics 365 CRM. And it enables a couple of functionalities within there that'll I'm not gonna go into detail right now because it's not the purpose of this meeting, but it has a cop make process very good and very efficient in many ways. So right now it's 50 a month, but for 50 a month, it includes the normal Copilot for Microsoft 365 license, that the one that we just talked about, which is 30 a month, and then the extra $20 a month. That's for the enable. That's for in order to enable it to work the Copilot inside of CRM, and also if you only get Copilot for sales, meaning you don't get the Copilot for Microsoft 365 a license. With that, you get Copilot just enabled in CRM, and also you can get it. You get some functionalities, not all of them. Like with the Copilot for Microsoft 365, you get some functionalities embedded within Outlook. So, but the best combo definitely is having those the Copilot for Microsoft 365 license enabled, that Copilot enabled in Outlook, which is gonna give you the most amount of features. We can now go to the next page. And now here we're gonna be heading back with Rodolfo. Uh, Rodolfo,
Yes.
thank you.
So the I was sitting down a few weeks ago with the Hector Libri, the general manager of Microsoft, which I know him from Microsoft days, and companies asking, okay, what is the return on investment? How can I justify within the company? His quick response was, okay, $30 per month, so that's $1 per day. So can't you, if you save just a few minutes of your time per day, it's going to be a lot more than $1. So it's a really easy investment as of return investment. And you can see here that taking different levels of salaries, yearly salaries, at the different levels, individual contributor, manager, and executive. This varies obviously significantly based on the country you're at. This is more kind of the United States. You can make a simple calculation and see how it impacts you. So you can see 11 minutes for somebody making $60,000 a year, and 6 minutes, and so on. And I can give you my personal experience, and I can say the return on investment has been really, really dramatic. And so it pays on its own in just a few days or a couple of months, very easily, the yearly investment. And I can give you a couple of examples. I had one, our CEO, Hector Negron. He asked me, "Hey, Rodolfo, I want, this was Monday, I want by Friday to present certain topic for the whole organization. And I want to talk about this and that, and please do think a little about it and do me a PPT." Normally that would have taken me quite a while. And so what I did was, first you have to tell it what is it that you're looking for, what is the objective of what you're looking for, and then give him certain parameters. So all those details that our CEO gave me, plus a little of my own thinking, and I told that to Copilot within PowerPoint, and it did create dramatically in just a few seconds the presentation, and it even brought, based on the topic that I asked it to do, even some pictures on it. So look for the web. So that was amazing. And so later on that same Monday, I sent it back to him. Okay, does this look nice? Obviously, I had to do a little tweaks here and there, but it gave me, normally when you do a presentation, the jumpstart, the thinking on the organizing the slides, putting them up, it takes quite a while. And kind of everything was done, all that portion. So the only thing I had to do is review, improve here, improve there. And I sent it to him, and he came back, "Did you use ChatGPT on this one?" And it was, obviously, it was a no-brainer. And if you go to one of our webinars that we're going to be talking the next slide, even the recorded ones, you can see how you could even ask ChatGPT to create you a document. We created a document, actually a policy of expenses for the company. We didn't have a good policy around that, and we asked it, please make a policy for expenses, corporate expenses within an organization, this and that, and again putting a few parameters, and it gave us a 2-page document with the detail, the summary, and how the process will be, and it was amazing. So you can do that on using Copilot for Word, for example, and then based on that, you can make a presentation automatically from that document, and it will give you the obviously easy to present document in PowerPoint, but it also gives you the notes underneath, with also taken from that document, but not only taken, but even improving it on, so it looks like a good script when you talk for a presentation like this one we have now. So it's amazing how it's saving, how we used it, well, we use it constantly. And the last example was we were developing our CEO, sitting down with our CEO in a meeting that we had 2 or 3 weeks ago, and he said, "Okay, Rodolfo, please read with me this document." He wanted to send it to a customer, and I read it. And I said, "Well, it's a little wordy, a little too much words, and maybe I think it would help if you make it a little more concise." And he said, "Well, Rodolfo, please do it." I said, "No, let's do Copilot." The only thing that had to say is, Copilot, make this document, this email, more concise. And immediately, a few seconds, and once you read it, it was amazing. We actually didn't have to touch anything because all the information was there. Just needed to compile it with artificial intelligence to make it more concise. So you can see how just 3 or 4 examples that I just gave of my personal use, how will dramatically improve, but it can improve also within the different areas of the organization, and that's why we invite you to the following webinars.